What's going on, grunts out there? It's your boy Slaxers here, and today I'm bringing you guys a Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire OU Wi-Fi battle against Dench Bee. Please be sure to check him out. This is a post-commentated battle, and the Pokemon of the week is actually Gengar. So I was looking for a battle, and I wanted to use Gengar, but unfortunately for the longest time, I just haven't been able to find a good Gengar team to use on Wi-Fi. I've been finding a lot of Showdown teams to use Gengar, but I have yet to find a very good one. So I kind of threw this one together because I saw a couple of threats and a couple of things that I kind of knew I would need, and I was building the team, and I was like, oh, well, I kind of lose to Life Orb Weavile. Oh, well, he's probably not going to bring Weavile. He ends up bringing Weavile. So, looking at team matchup here, Gengar is the main focus of this team. I'm trying to get as many kills with Gengar as I possibly can. I'm trying to do as much work with Gengar as I possibly can. And most importantly, I'm trying to win. So, I am Tank Chomp. So, Tank Chomp can eat up any hit from any Mon except for Weavile if he's Life Orb. I'm not going to be able to live one Icicle Crash. If he even carries Icicle Crash, he may carry Ice Punch instead because he doesn't want to miss. In which case, it's a roll, I believe. I'm not 100% sure. But either way, his Weavile is definitely the biggest threat to me. His Magnezone is definitely a threat as well. His own Gengar can be potentially a threat. I do have my Tornadus Tea in the back to knock that thing off, so I'm not entirely worried about that. But as soon as he gets rocks up, that's also a problem. So main agenda here is that I need to get Gengar to get as many kills as possible. And by doing that is getting rid of Skarmory and with Magnezone, and essentially just let Gengar run rampant. This team is very offensive. My team is very offensive, and it's very, very, very weak to rocks. So, unfortunately, I don't have a spinner either. So, it looks like once he gets rocks up, I'm gonna basically be forced to live with that unless he defogs for some reason. So, I'm gonna lead off with Garchomp here because I need to get my rocks up as well, since he does have that Magnezone, or not the Magnezone, sorry, the Weavile. But he's gonna actually pull a direct switch out into his Skarmory, simply because of the fact that this thing kind of walls me, except I carry Fire Blast, since I don't want to get walled by this or Feral Thorn. So I'm going to go ahead and set up rocks, which is very good for me, as he ends up setting up his own rocks, which is really, really bad. The good thing for me is that Weavile's going to start getting whittled, but I'm going to go for the Dragon Tail, just phasing him out into anything. Hopefully I'm getting him phased out into his Magnezone, that's what I'm hoping, but I actually end up phasing him out into his Weavile, which is good though for me because the more damage his Weavile takes, the better off I am. So he's going to come in and take a pretty good chunk of damage from that, from the Stealth Rock entry, so I'm going to switch out into my Gyarados, simply because Gyarados can take one hit from this thing, and I want to whittle this thing as much as possible. So I'm going to go for the Protect and as well as Intimidate him. So he's not going to be able to hit just as hard, but he ends up going for the low kick, predicting my Heatran switch. But had I stayed in, he would have taken a huge chunk of damage, if not died, because I am Rocky Helmet plus Rough Skin, so he's going to be taking 29% plus his Life Orb, so he's going to be taking 39% plus the damage that I'm going to deal if I go for EQ. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch out because I'm fearing an Icicle Crash, but I decided to just go into Garchomp just so I can double out into his Skarmory and I can just fire off a Fire Blast. Maybe he doesn't understand, or maybe he doesn't think I run Fire Blast, so I am going to go for the Fire Blast, or maybe he actually predicts me to not care about that. But I end up going for the Fire Blast and burning. It doesn't really matter that I burned, but he's going to set up his first layer of spikes, which is a little bit of an annoyance. But it's WE. It's WE. Right here, I'm just gonna go for another Fire Blast. I thought he would actually like. To be 100% honest, I thought he would defog because that would be like the better play here. Because to be 100% honest, him having his Weavile get weakened is worse than my team getting. It's worse for him than it is better for him to weaken my team because, in all honesty, Weavile completely destroys my team. But I'm going to go ahead and take out his Skarmory, as now he's going to go into this thing. And I go into the main event himself, Gengar, predicting his Calm Mind. So I'm very, very, very good in this regard because this is not scary in the least bit. I mean, sure, he can take me, or he can't take me out. He can Thunder Wave me, which would be annoying, but if I am modest, I believe I do take him out with a Sludge Wave if there is no Calm Mind. So he's going to end up switching out into his Magnezone, and here I didn't want to make a prediction simply because of the fact that, well, I didn't really need to. At that point, I was in the driver's seat, so I'm going to go for the Focus Blast, and luckily I do hit. Gengar is able to focus and kill off this Magnezone, which is very, very good for us. This Magnezone didn't do anything. It was definitely a threat. And, yeah, down goes that monster. So I am Life Orb because I am timid, so I need to get as much speed as possible. So he's going to go into his own Gengar, and it's a speed tie. And I actually end up winning the speed tie, which was insane. My Gengar ends up outspeeding his, and I am able to take him out with the Shadow Ball, which is very, 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 very good for me. So that means that Gengar now has 2 kills, which is absolutely crazy. As he ends up going into his Keldeo now. And I know I can't OHKO him with any move. I can do 80% max with a Sludge Wave. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out into my Gyarados because I'm expecting a secret... not my Gyarados, sorry, my Tornadus. Because Tornadus is Soul Vested. And if he Specs, then I can judge that damage. If he's Scarfed, then I can judge that damage. So he ends up being Scarfed, but unfortunately he does get the burn, which is going to put me within range of another Scald if it's a high roll, which is unfortunate. I decided to just sack off my Torn here because he does have that Weavile in the back, and... I mean, sure, the more things that can, the more Life Orb damage that Weavile deals, the better off I am. So I'm going to go into my Gluttony here, my Gyarados, and I'm actually just going to go for the bounce, hoping I don't get burned, but it actually doesn't really matter, because even if he burns me, I do have my Lumberry, so I'm not worried about that at all, because, I mean, I'm just not. So I'm going to go for my, my bounce. I guess he was relying on a miss here, but I'm going to go for the bounce. This is a 2-turn move like Fly, so he's going to go for the Scald, but I mean, of course, I dodged that because I'm in the sky, and the bounce is going to connect and almost take out this Keldeo. LOL JK, it actually takes it out. So, Keldeo is down, which is very, very good. That means that the only thing that actually outspeeds my Gengar at this point is Weavile, and this thing is more than definitely a threat. So, what I decided to do here is I'm just going to sack off my Gyarados because I don't really need you anymore. You die on entry from Stealth Rocks. That crit totally mattered, by the way. Anyways, here I kind of make a bit of a misplay. I make a pretty big misplay in my eyes. In the long run, it doesn't truly matter. You'll see why it doesn't truly matter. But I make a misplay. He goes for the low kick. I knew he had no low kick. I knew he was gonna go for it. I was banking on him over predicting. He at that point had been playing pretty straightforward. So I should have actually switched into my my Garchomp. But here I'm gonna go into my Gengar because he's playing super straightforward. So I'm gonna double out into my Gyarados here because I want him to take Rocky Helmet and Rough Skin damage, so he gets basically, so he takes himself out. So that's exactly what actually happens. He doesn't go for the Icicle Crash, which would be the I guess the safer play, but at the same time it's not because I mean he has a chance to miss. So he is gonna go for the knockoff, which does take himself out. And I should have done that earlier with the low kick, simply because Garchomp can take one low kick easily, and he takes damage from Rocky Roughskin. So now I'm going to go ahead and switch back out into my Gengar. I believe all he has left is this thing. He actually does all he has left is this thing. So I'm going to go back into my Gengar now, doubling out simply because of the fact that even if he goes for the Ice Beam, I can take one. I actually predicted him to want to go for the Moonblast, but that doesn't do much because he is defensive. So I'm going to go for the Sludge Wave. Unfortunately, I am not able to kill. Had I been modest, I would have killed. But Gengar's just a little shy of that. But in the end, it didn't really matter because without Gengar doubling out and calling that knockoff, I wouldn't be able to win because that Weavile would just Ice Shard my Beedrill, Ice Shard my Garchomp, and that's basically it. So I'm really glad that I'm actually really glad that Gengar was able to bait the knockoff, and I can switch into my Garchomp safely and get him to hit hit my Garchomp with a physical move and take contact. So without Gengar, I wouldn't have basically won in this situation because there's no other reason. So I am going to go for the Poison Jab. I do outspeed him. Luckily, he's not some like weird speedy set, but nonetheless, it is going to be GG Dench. Thank you very much for the battle. It means a lot. Remember, guys, the Pokemon of the week is Gengar. So you guys will be seeing a Pokemon. You will see a Pokemon of the week video on Gengar by Pokemon Insider tomorrow. Hope you guys are excited for that. I don't know if I just spoiled it, but anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to smash that like button, grunts. It's Admin Slacks here, and I'm signing out. So stay Slexy, and I'm out. Peace.